Welcome to Kletus Ray's Roadside Service. We're on the road here. We're driving. Or I'm on just a side street right now. How do you like that? I like it. I think it's kind of catchy. I think I'm excited about it. A little revamp after 200 wonderful episodes. I just, when I set up the podcast, it just wasn't. That's not what it was. It wasn't truckers and others that I was going to be interviewing. It was just me babbling down the road. So here we are. Yeah, I was up way too late last night getting all that shit done. Um, getting the cover art made, which I just asked the AI on Facebook to make it. I was just like, hey, can you make me? Because the AI on Facebook, you can talk to it like a human. It's kind of cool. Why do I not have any fucking AC in this thing? It's not even hot yet, but it's stuffy. And I'm a little sweaty because I've been up and running since I woke up. Like, not even kidding. Running since I woke up. I woke up. The guy told me yesterday, he said, hey, we need to start at 6:30 tomorrow. I said, okay. Okay. Yeah, no problem. No problem. And then I'm laying on the couch at 2 a.m. I wanted to, because I set a fuckload of alarms. So me and my wife, we do what we do. But sometimes I'll sleep on the couch just so she doesn't have to wake up to all my fucking alarms. I have no spitter. Are you fucking with me? You're fucking with me. How am I supposed to spit? What am I supposed to spit on? There's got to be something in here. There's a bag of waters. Aha. Ha 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 ha. Yes. So, anyways, I'm just trying to justify how my everything works out at my house. I slept on the couch last night, knowing I had to get up early as fuck. Okay, it probably wasn't a good idea because my back kind of hurt, and the dogs snore. But I was up at 2 a.m. and well, it was more like 1 a.m. at this point in time. I just could not get enough of YouTube last night. I just kept watching YouTube and more YouTube, thinking one of them was bound to put me to sleep. And then I was like, oh shit, I have to edit the podcast for tomorrow because it was in two parts. It's not a big deal. I just have to use a separate app. Like, I can't do it very simply running down the highway in the morning. So I was like, I'll go ahead and edit it, get everything changed tonight. And I was like, while I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna go ahead and change the name of the podcast. And I had to figure out how to get in to do that. And then I was like, oh, I could update the cover art also, but I don't have. I was like, I have to update the cover art because that's no longer the name of the podcast. Um, and it would be weird to have a different name with that cover art. So I just got on AI on Google. If you just go to not Google, Facebook, and hit search, and then there's like a little blue circle, click on that, and there's your AI assistant, Meta AI assistant. You can, and that's all I said. I said, I'm changing the name of my podcast to this. Will you make me an image with a 19, you have to be specific, 1978 Chevy truck getting worked on? And boom, it popped it up immediately. Well, it popped up a red one that was really small. So I said, can you make the truck a little bit bigger and blue? And then boom, boom, shakalaka. It worked out great. Um, Sorry, let me chug this real quick. Okay. The fuck is your problem, dipshit? Damn, lady did not want to let me on the highway. I'm running out of fucking... It's a Tesla, too, so she fucking punched it, and I don't think she was quick enough on the brake. I think the Tesla ended up taking care of the brakes before she smashed into a trailer. We're doing 50 miles an hour, okay? And I had plenty of room to get over, but this bitch did not want to let me over. So she wanted to slam on the throttle or the electric, whatever you fucking call those things. I'm not getting any of this AC. I might have to roll the windows down a little bit. The sun is beating on me. So yeah, I'm laying there, and I just go through and I update all kinds of shit on the podcast. I get, the cover art, the name change. And the name change, I wasn't even sure. I was like half dead. And I'm like, how about Kletus Ray's Roadside Service? And I just like, let's put it in there. Let's fucking put it in there. I'm too tired right now. And, but I think that's a cool, that works out good, you know. I didn't tell you what kind of roadside service it was. I'm road service, okay? I am ear service. You guys want to hear some crazy shit? Boom. Here you are. Talk about, well, on the last episode, I did debunk the claims that I would get fucked in the ass for a square body hood. That's not happening. So, yeah, that ain't happening. And all right. Let's just get into today's segment of yesterday. Fucking was dumb. That's an official segment, only found here on Kletus Ray's Roadside Service. I really need to keep saying it so I'll remember it, because I'm gonna truckers and others just falls off the tongue. Plus, I've been doing it for a while, over a year, I believe, maybe a year and a half. I don't know when I started it. I have no idea. But yesterday was really dumb. I show up and it says I'm going to Shenandoah, Iowa. Now, I kind of covered some of this in the previous podcast where I stuck around the office for an hour and a half just trying to find stuff. We did some digging through emails and stuff to try to find out what kind of job I'm supposed to do. The guy that's in charge of the job is usually at the office in the mornings, but he had surgery on his knee, so he is gone until about 8:30, 9 o'clock every morning, and that's not good when you don't know what the fuck you're supposed to do, and nobody has any clue. They're like, it's a city in Iowa, and I'm like, I can go to the city, don't know where I'm going, and I don't know what I'm doing. I know that I'm supposed to take a vac tanker. So I got it. Let's go. And do I need hoses? Are they going to load me? Am I going to load me? Like, what's going on? Do I need a ladder? Is this stuff sludge? Because I had heard that they had sent people up there beforehand, but they had sent people up there beforehand to sample the material. So we had to go through the samples, find out who did the samples, call those people, and talk to them just to find out, yeah, it's mainly just water. I'm like, okay, fine, cool. So, drive all the way up to Shenandoah, Iowa. I didn't record the whole way, but I recorded a lot of the way. And I get there, and they have there's a truck entrance. So I'm like, of course I'm going to go in the truck entrance. I'm a truck. And I called the lady 30 minutes beforehand, and I got her assistant. And she said, oh, she's on a conference call. I'm like, okay, well, let her know that I'm 30 minutes away, because she was real adamant about me. I hope I don't say adamant more than twice in this episode. She was real hard nosed on me calling her. 30 minutes before I get there so she can call somebody else. I'm like, just give me Andrew's number, bitch. Just give me the fucking guy's number. I'll call him. No, no, I'm not giving you his number. I don't want to give out his number. I'm like, I'm working. I have to work with this guy. What do you mean I can't have his number? He's busy doing other stuff. I'm not giving you his number. Like, she would not give me anybody else's number, but she had fucked up because in one of the emails that I had received was another guy's number that there were two guys that I got numbers for. One guy doesn't even work there anymore, but he said, yeah, if you have questions, you can call me. I used to run the whole fucking place before you closed it down and took my goddamn job. I used to have retirement and a family and a nice truck and a good job, and then you guys fucking came in and took it away. But yes, you could call me while I'm looking for another job because they closed this building down. It used to be I don't know, an Eaton building or something. I don't know. And they turned it, now it's being rented by a different company. And then there's another company out there demolishing part of it, trying to fix it up into just a generic warehouse, is what he told me. So I call her. I get the assistant. She's on a conference call. Would you like her email? Would you like her voicemail? I don't know, some sort of mail. I'm like, sure. I mean, all I got to do is say I'm 30 minutes out. Can you just fucking tell that to her? And I asked her earlier. I was like, hey, can I text you on this number? She's like, no, 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 no. Do not text me. I'm like, okay, fucking crazy bitch. I won't text you. Jesus Christ, I'll call you. Okay, I'll be waiting on your call. And then she doesn't fucking answer. I'm like, you knew. I told her my timeline before I left the shop. Whatever. Conference calls, I understand. You know, I'm just upset at her. It gets deeper, buddies. And I'm currently sitting in traffic, not fucking doing shit. Gotta open my coffee. Call her, no response. I call the other guy, no response. Leave them both emails. I show up to the place, and I go in the truck entrance because it sounds like the other entrance doesn't accept trucks, right? Doesn't it kind of sound like if you're in a truck, you should probably take the truck entrance? So take the truck entrance. The problem is where they wanted me to meet the guy was in the other entrance. So I went in the truck entrance and I'm parked way down on the other side of the building because I know that where I need to go is all the way around the side, but I want the guy to actually show me and guide me in case I run into something I'm not sure of. I like to talk to him before I just show up and start doing shit. So I park there and I walk around inside the building. I can't find anybody. And then finally a guy comes over. I'm like, are you Andrew? No. Are you Luke? No. Are you Charles? No. Are you William? No. All right. Well, where the fuck are those guys at? He's like, oh, they're only one of them's over there, and his name's Travis. I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, Travis is the guy you need to talk to. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know why I got all these other fucking names. And who the fuck are you? Oh, I'm Robert. I'm like, okay, well, nice to meet you, Robert. Do you know what the fuck I'm doing here? He's like, no. But you seem like you need to talk to Travis. So we walk all the way across the building to get to Travis. He's in a skid steer digging out a new dock. They're going to put a new angled dock in up against the building. And so we get him, and he's like, all right, let me grab my pickup truck, and I'll show you where to go. We got to go all the way around the building. I'm like, can I turn around back there, or should I back in, or what? He's like, I don't know. I don't know shit. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, well, if I can drive in forwards, I can probably back out. So I'll just go ahead and do that. So I drove in. It was really tight. Like, the people that were working there, obviously they weren't expecting a semi to show up, but they just parked scattered. Like, there's a parking lot back there, but they just parked just in a lot, like head to toe, fucking in a lot, like all across the parking lot. Weird. I'm like, what the fuck is going on back here? But I was able to get around them by the skin of my chinny teeth or something. And I got around there, and I got backed into the hole, and finally the dude showed up. Like, he was right behind me. I don't know what the fuck took him so long. And then he shows me the tanks. There's one tank, number 12, that has, it's a 5,000 gallon tank, and it's not even halfway full. He's like, this is what you need you to do. I was like, okay, what about all these other tanks? Because I heard that all the manways are off of all these other tanks, and they may have stuff in them. And we go over there and we look at them. He's like, these are empty. I'm like, okay. And then we go into the other room where there's another tank. There's 4 tanks, but only one of them is missing the manway, and it's got like 6 inches of water in it. And he's like, I don't know if you want to. I'm like, do you want me to? He's like, I don't care. I'm like, okay. He's like, it's the same exact shit that's in that other tank, and they had a leak, so that's why they needed to get these tanks pumped down, so nothing will leak anymore. It's a very slow leak, just like a drip, but it apparently had flooded out the place, and they had to tighten up the fittings, but it was still leaking. I'm like, all right, cool. So I looked in there. I tried to see if I needed to slurry it up. It's just basic water. So I grab out my 2-inch hose because I like using the 2-inch hose. It's lighter, easier, flexible, and it does the job. The 3-inch, if it was sludgy, I would have grabbed the 3-inch and ran that through. But it's a lot stiffer, heavier, and it's just not as fun to deal with. So I ran all my hose, dropped it in the tank, and then ran more hose. I had to run 3 or 4 lengths of 20 footers, and got it hooked up to my truck. My truck was having a little bit of an issue pulling vacuum at the beginning, but it's that fucking check ball in there that really it gets stuck sometimes. And I have no idea what they hauled in this tanker before me, so I'm just kind of doing my thing, getting it to work. Got it to work. Got it to start pulling vacuum. Checked my lids, checked everything. Dropped the hose in the hole again and started sucking. And sucked that tank dry. And while that one was getting sucked, I went ahead and wrote up all my paperwork. And I went into the other room, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll hit this one next. And then I go into the other room where there's a bunch of tanks with the manways open, and he says, these are all empty. And I go look in them, and I see water in a little bit of them. So I'm like, I don't know if I should do this or not. So I'm going to go find the guy. So I walk in the building. I get lost immediately. It's a big, wide open building, but it's got a lot of like little hallways and shit. And I walked and got turned around, and then I couldn't find my way back to my truck. I was like, holy shit, where the fuck am I? I felt like the backroom situation, where you go in and everything looks the same, and then it's a maze. You get lost. You get turned around. You're in the corn, bud. You can't get out. How you? Where's the stars? Look at the moon. I can't get out of this place. It's inside a building. And I listened for my truck because my truck is pretty loud. And I left it running, left the pump running and everything. It's not going to hurt anything. You could put your hand up against the hose of that thing, and it ain't going to hurt you. And I had it in a tank, so everything was fine. I threw it in that smaller tank, sucked all the liquid out of that, and then I called the lady because she kept saying something like, call me if you have any questions or whatever. But I was like, I'm going to find this fucking other guy and get a hold of him, see what he wants me to do. Because you're some bitch in an office somewhere, doesn't know a fucking thing about anything, is the way I feel about her right now. I'm sorry. She's probably nice. She probably brings something really delicious to like Thanksgiving. She probably has like, I brought my famous apple fritters to Thanksgiving. She's super nice. She buys all the kids. She gives everybody a gold dollar. She's one of those kind of ladies. Maybe, I don't know. But in the professional working sense, this lady didn't know a fucking thing. I'm like, I'm sure you're nice, but you are fucking dumb. Not dumb, you just don't know what the fuck you're doing. Okay? So she was really, I called her and I was like, hey, I got the tank 12 done. There's a tank over here numbered number 2. It's got about 6 inches of water in it. And then I walked with Travis to look at these other ones, and he said they're empty. I see a little bit of water in them, but they look pretty empty. She's like, okay, well, I need you to hold on. And I still haven't been able to get a hold of the guy that had surgery on his knee. Like, I had got a hold, he called me on my way up, but I hadn't, she's like, let me call him and I'm going to merge the calls, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, do your office fucking bullshit, whatever, you fucking crazy bitch. And, sorry, I'm really mean about her. She's like, I need you to sit around and wait until I can get this figured out. She's like, why do you not have a work order? I'm like, she's like, I talked to what's his name, and he said that you had a work order. I was like, actually, I did not have a work order. I went through some emails and found out what I was supposed to be doing today. The dude was having surgery. It was a Monday. I had no contact of him. This job has been posted on my schedule 3 times now, and it's been taken off, and now it's finally time to do the job, and I don't know. I asked people about it beforehand, but they, it wasn't important to them. So, how do I make this fucking spray? I have a lot of dust on my windshield, and I can't see it all in the... There we go. I can see a lot better driving straight into the fucking sun. This is where I got most of my feelings from this lady. I already had feelings about her, but I was like, whatever. It's regular old... No, she's fucking, like, screaming at me like I need to fucking sit around and wait for her to get a hold of Mike. She's very upset that we weren't prepared this morning, blah, 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 this and that. I eventually do get a hold of Mike. He's like, why do you not have a work order? I'm like, there's no work order. I asked Ed where the work order is. He's like, it was on the door. I'm like, we looked at the fucking door. There was no work order. There was no nothing. I asked Ed, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? He's like, go talk to Steve. So I went to go talk to Steve, and we talked to Steve, and he's like, I don't know. I just heard little snippets of him talking about the job because they share an office. So then he went through a bunch of emails because everybody's got connected emails, and he was able to search, not search what's his name's emails, but he was able to go through and find little bits of information that was, I don't know, declassified. I don't fucking know. But that's the only way I found out anything about this job. I'm sorry. I know you had surgery and you had therapy and all this other shit going on today. But it's like I need to know what the fuck I'm doing. He's like, it was all on the work order, and the lady's like, what? Only just do what's on your work order. I'm like, I don't have a work order. I was being nice, you fucking crazy hoe. I was being nice, saying, hey, I'm here with a vac truck. I have plenty of room to suck out anything that you could ever want that was left here. Do you want any liquid left in any of these fucking tanks? Yes or no? I don't know. I need to check. I'm like, I'm out of here, lady. So I load up all my shit and I get the fuck out of there. I sucked, and I didn't even tell her that I sucked tank number 2, but I had already thrown my hose in there and sucked it out before I even talked to her. Fucking crazy bitch. What are you guys going to be using these fucking tanks? No. You're going to demolish them. You probably want any and all liquid out of any and all tanks. You stupid hoe. Now, if there's a gallon left in fucking 6 tanks that has to be profiled, you're gonna fucking go in there and scoop it out with a ladle? I don't know. You're gonna have to do something. Let it fucking evaporate? I don't know. But I got the bulk of what needed to be done. I had questions about the trench that runs throughout the entire building there, because it had flooded and the trench had standing water in it. And I was gonna drop my hose into the trench and suck out all of the water that was sitting in the trench. Nobody really gave a fuck. I was just trying to be nice to call her up and say, hey, if there's water here, do you want me to suck it up? Because I can do that. I'm going to take it to a disposal facility. You're going to pay for it. Like, you already paid for us to come out here once. Do you want to come pay for us to come out here twice? Like, you might as well just tell me if there's liquid, you want it sucked. But she couldn't fucking say it. So I packed up my shit and I got the fuck out of there because I was going to be late. Not late, but I was really pushing it because it took an hour and a half to figure out what the fuck I was doing this morning. That took a lot of time, and then walking around with these fucking little meandering motherfuckers trying to figure out what holes and what's water and blah, blah, blah. You know, it just took a lot of extra time, and the disposal facility closes. So I need to get on the road and boogie. I ain't got time to stop for lunch or for nothing. I ain't got time to stop for anything. I got to get this truck out on the road and going, lady. So I got it out and I got it going. I got my paperwork signed by the guy up front. I was like, "Hey man, like you weren't too worried about those other tanks, were you?" He's like, "No, not really." I'm like, "Okay," because I didn't do anything with those tanks. The fucking lady that I was talking to could not get her head out of her ass and figure out if she wanted liquid out of the tanks that she wants demolished, removed. You know, so I just sucked it out of this tank and that tank, and then she sent me an email. She's like, "Can you please send me a detailed list and photos of what you did today?" And I'm like, "Motherfuck." So I had to go back. I had to run back over there, take pictures of the front of the tank, the inside of the tanks, on both of the tanks that I sucked from, and I sent it over to her. I said, "I sucked as much water as I could out of tank 12 and tank 2. Boom. There you go. Pictures and all. And I get in my truck and I leave. And I go and I drive and I drive and I get to my disposal facility on time, right on time. And they cracked open the valve and everything. I don't know why, but I had trouble backing into their building. They changed up something and trying to back straight up into their building, like, because you have to go around a little thing and it's not fucking good. But I had a little bit of trouble getting in their fucking building, and the tall ass fat guy in there, I like to give him shit every time I'm there. And he was fucking berating me as I'm trying to back my truck in there. I'm like, "You motherfucker, I'll beat your little ass." He's like, "I'm way bigger than you." I'm like, "I don't give a fuck. I got a whole bottle of spit here. I'll throw it to you, you fucking fuckhead." But no, it's all in good fun, me and him. He's a cool guy. And I did get to see the guy that I usually don't get to see, and I saw him. He actually is running the show over there now, which is pretty cool. Good for him. I'm glad. Anyways, we crack the valve and we start offloading. They have like a containment that I pump into, or I don't pump into. I gravity feed into this containment, and then they have like a valve, so it only takes as much as the containment can hold, and then they pump that into their holding tanks or whatever. So it's a long process for a full load. Now, I was not a full load, but as soon as we cracked the valve open, a bunch of yellow shit flew out. And when we grabbed the sample, it was bright green, looked like antifreeze. And they're like, "What the fuck is this shit?" I was like, "Brother, I don't know. I don't know what this truck was used for beforehand, but I can guarantee you what I sucked was like brown water. It was not anything light, bright, fluorescent green looking. So I have no idea." So they had to do a bunch of testing on it and stuff, and they're like, "We need to test it for glycol. We need to test it for latex. We need to test it for this and the blah, blah, blah." I'm like, okay. Because they can only take, like, they don't want to take any petroleum or, well, gasoline is no good. Diesel's okay for some reason. They can treat diesel, which I've done that before. I've taken full tanker loads of diesel that had a little bit of contaminants in it and dumped it there. And it's like, dude, and I figured out how much, I don't remember it anymore, but I figured out how much it was because, sorry, I have to open up a wing window. I have to get some fucking air in this cab. This AC is not doing the job. I don't remember what it was, but it was 4,500 gallons of pure diesel with a little bit of dirt in it that I dumped there. And if you take 4,500 gallons times $4 a gallon, I don't fucking know, but that's a lot of money that I just dumped down the drain. We actually paid to get rid of. It was kind of insane. We do that sometimes, but that's what the client wants. That's what the client gets. Anyways, everything went fine. I got offloaded. It was just water. It just had some coloration to it from whoever used the tanker before me. Got done with that. Boogie to the shop. Get all the paperwork done because it turned into a madhouse because the guy that's in charge of the job, he called me. He's like, "Hey, did you send her an email with pictures?" I was like, "Yes." He's like, "Why did you do that?" I'm like, "Because she asked me to." He's like, "Well, the picture you sent her looks like mud." I'm like, "There was no mud. Everything I sucked was pretty clean, like, just watery stuff. I didn't really see any mud." He's like, "Well, from the pictures that you sent, it's mud." And she's freaking out saying it's muddy sludge, and I'm like, "Okay, well, what I'm trying to be nice to this guy. I'm like, what would you like me to do if there was mud there? Because I have a liquid vac. It doesn't really do mud." So I got all the liquid. I sucked it until I could see the fucking floor. Like I could see the water come off the floor and go into my hose, and the floor was dry in spots. Yes, the tank was not professionally cleaned before I came out and sucked the water out of it. I don't know what you want from me. He's like, "Well, yeah, I know. You couldn't have got it anyways if it was mud, but she's freaking out saying it's mud or whatever." I'm like, those tanks are getting demolished. They're going to blow out the wall, and then they're going to drag those tanks out and smash them. Who gives a fuck if there's a little bit of mud in the bottom of them anyways? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why does any of this other shit matter? I got all the water out. She was having trouble telling me if she wanted the water removed or not. That's the only thing I can do. The only reason I was there was to remove fucking water. And then she's pissed off because there's mud. He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Just don't talk to anybody else. Don't talk to her again." I'm like, "Okay." Well, tell her that too, because every time I talk to her, she's like, "Don't talk to anybody but me. Don't talk to anybody but me. Don't talk to anybody but." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up. I'll talk to whoever the fuck I want to. I ain't got no NDA with you, bitch. You want the fucking water sucked out? I'll suck the water out." I don't know. Part of me hopes that we lose this client because she is a fucking hard to handle. Because even if I had my paperwork there, and I guarantee you, if I had the paperwork, all it was going to say was suck out tank T12 until it's empty. It's still a courteous thing to say, "Hey, I think you have a little bit of water in the rest of these other tanks. You want me to grab it real quick?" "Yeah, sure. That'd be great." Cool. And I'll run my hose out, suck up a gallon out of this tank, 2 gallons out of that tank, stuff like that, and then be done, and then you won't have any issues whatsoever. But the main issue that I was called out there for was the fucking leak. And the leak is taken care of. I don't know. She was still fucking real pissed off about everything at the end. I don't know. I'm like, fuck that hoe. I'm out of there. She wants me to come back, I'll come back. I really don't want to come back. So, yeah, I went back to the shop, got all my paperwork done. All right, you're the one car on the fucking highway in my fucking way. You're just hanging out by my fucking bumper. I need this exit, yo. Um, I don't want to drink all my coffee quite yet because I'm going to an ammo plant today. I'm hauling vac boxes here, and the rest of the week I'll be here also. I'm hoping, I mean, the episodes might be a little shorter than normal because I'm going to be around people. I'm not going to be out like driving around. But for today, I'm going to be hauling vac boxes, 2 vac boxes here, and it's already 8:15, and I'm not even there yet. And then I got to go through the whole badging process because it's government facility, and I don't know. They're real fucking strict here. Gotta do all that shit to get in there, and then drop the box, and then turn around and come out and grab another box and go back. So it'll be fucking noon before I'm even there, ready to help them do any work. But they got 3 guys there. Should be all right. They should be fine. They can handle it. Coming around the corner. And I don't even know what we're doing. It's a stripper tank or something. I don't know. Is there going to be strippers there? Is it stripper glitter? I don't know. But it's some sort of a tank that they want cleaned. Going to be using a guzzler and a pressure washer to suck into these vac boxes. I don't know. It'll be an okay day, I think. For me, at least. I'm going to be on the road most of it. Then I get back there and then just hang out. I could watch them do work. I don't know. It doesn't, from what I've heard, it doesn't sound like this is going to be a hard job. It's just doing it. Getting set up for it will take some time. Yeah. But yeah, those guys were giving me shit for being late this morning, which is fine. I deserve it. I don't know how I set so many alarms and I put my phone on my chest and I slept through all of my alarms. Well, not all of them. The 6:15 one went off, and I woke up to that. But I get up and I look at my phone. I'm like, oh, fuck me. I can't make it there in 15 minutes. That's not going to happen. I didn't grab coffee. I didn't even let the dogs out. I just fucking ran out the door. Threw on some clothes and ran out the door. And called him, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah. You know, trying to smooth it over. He's like, it's normal for you. I'm like, whatever, fuck ever, you fuckhead. I'm like, I don't know. Like the last 2 Mondays, I was able to get up and get there by 6, half an hour early, so I could get my paperwork done. But I don't know. I did not get much sleep last night, and I slept through all my alarms, and I don't know. My phone was updated when I woke up, so I'm wondering if while it was updating, my alarms were going off or something. I have no idea. No idea. But it was a fucked up situation. But it's okay now. You know, I'm on the road. I'm almost there. I had to wait through a bunch of traffic. They're gonna give me shit for that. Sorry, there was really no other way at all to get around the traffic. I had to sit in all the traffic. And yeah, I'm driving a Freightliner roll-off truck. I really don't like this truck. It looks as much like a Tonka truck as possible. But a Freightliner, I don't even know what model it is, but it's a Freightliner roll-off truck. It's got that bug hood on it. I don't know. I call it a bug hood. But the seat is actually, it's like a bucket, like a real bucket seat. Like it grabs you. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. It's got a pretty good power too. I don't like the hydraulics because it's all done with a remote. So it's all, on off. I can't just like slowly tilt it. Oh! Or slowly winch it. It's just on or off with a remote. There are levers down there, but they're like up on the frame of the truck, and that does not fit. I don't like to stand there when I'm working, because if, let's just say the winch cable does snap. I don't notice that the winch cable's frayed in a spot. It's frayed underneath the truck somewhere, and the winch cable snaps. I don't want to be standing in line with that motherfucker at all. I want to be as, you know, off to the side. So if the winch cable, which is fucking an inch and a half thick, busts, it ain't gonna fucking, because if that thing busts, it's gonna, I mean, most of them, when the winch cable snaps, it's not gonna, it absorbs all the energy and it kind of lays there. But just in the chance that it doesn't, I don't want to be standing right next to the frame, staring right at the fucking hook that's gonna pop me right in the head. And I mean, if it makes its way to my head, it's probably gonna fucking split my head open. So I just use the remote, like whatever, it'll be fine. I don't like the buttons, that's for sure. I think the window buttons are really close to the window buttons that I'm going to be putting in my truck, but mine are going to be fine. The only problem is all these buttons are the same and they're all worn off. So it's like I can't tell which one's the PTO, which one's the window, which one's the axles, which one's the shut down overdrive. What the fuck does that even mean? um, yeah, I got some differentials that I can lock up, and then there's OPT, which I don't even know what that is. Is this the turn? Yeah, this is the turn. Woo, boys! Need to throw on some of this stuff. And yeah, last night I got home. I set my bag outside, my work bag, because it's got everything I want in it. I set it outside on the trash can right next to my truck. I had plans. I have to go inside to see the kids and greet the wife, but then I was going to immediately turn around and go back outside. That all went to shit because the kids, I needed to help my son with some homework. His first piece of real homework, which was just gluing stickers onto a fucking paper. But I had to help him with that, help him with the scissors, cutting this stuff out. And then my wife was like, I'm going to go get the dinner. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, what? I was like, well, I was only going to come in here for like 5 minutes. And then I was going to go back outside, but What? It's fine. It's fine. Whatever. She's like, I mean, you can go get the food. I'm like, it doesn't. There's not enough sunlight. There's not enough sunlight right now. There's not. If I do anything else, there's not going to be enough sunlight. Uh, so I just sat around and she's like, "You want something?" I said, "No." She's like, "You can go work." She got like real defensive immediately. I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" She's like, "You don't want to eat. You're annoying." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, easy, lady. No, if you want, I mean, I'm upset, but I'm not upset at anybody here. I'm upset that the sun is going down so early now. I'm upset that I worked as late as I did, even though we need the money. And I don't know. There's just so I'm just gonna sit inside, and I don't want to eat. She's like, "Why do you not want to eat?" I'm like, "Because I don't want to eat. I ate yesterday. you know, I'm trying to do this fasting thing." She's like, "Yeah, whatever." I'm like, "Damn, lady, you're angry as hell." But oh lordy. So I just kind of I did eat a bag of pork rinds, but that's it. That's all I had last night. Yeah, I know the fucking deal, buddy. Fucking GI Joe. These fucking guys. I mean, they take their job seriously, but I don't know. We've had people get denied access here because they had a parking ticket in another state. It's like they do a whole background check on you before they let you in this place. We had one guy uh, was put into cuffs because he had a machete. Anyways, keep all 18 down. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye.